Last week, I seized an opportunity to make some significant upgrades to my life by buying new stuff. I got new clothes I needed, replaced 4 water bottles of various sizes with a gallon one for storage and a 20-ounce one for dispensing water from the gallon to for drinking, and even got a new MagSafe power bank to replace a messy wired setup for charging my phone on my Boston trips. Most importantly, I got a new Apple Watch with the cellular connection, which I want to talk about because people online like to complain about upgrade cycles. So I thought I'd talk about how sometimes upgrades can be truly helpful. It seems frivolous at first because I have a phone, but there are 3 types of scenarios where this particular upgrade might save me. First, there's the possibility of losing one's phone. It can fall out of a pocket, or you might just forget to check for it, which is why the train conductors on the final stretch of the train route, planetarium hosts, and pre recorded messages at the Omni Theater and Aquarium Theater announce to make sure you have your belongings before leaving. I always check my pockets every time I get up from any seat I was sitting in, or I'm about to exit a transit vehicle. Then again, after I step out of it, so I know I have everything before the doors close and I never see that vehicle again. Mistakes can happen though, which is why I want to have a cellular model watch literally attached to me so I can track it down and get it back if I have to. However, my pocket check policy assumes I have no reason to believe I'm in danger. Unfortunately, the possibility of that is always above zero, because over a long enough period of time, something will inevitably come up. Most of the time, things go right, but you never know. The second is if I lose my phone fleeing such a situation. The day I got my watch, set it up, and tested the cellular connection by walking to the little library and making calls from the sidewalk there to test the call quality while my phone sat at home, there was a violent altercation at Forest Hills. It literally proved, on the day I got this upgrade, it was a necessity for me as someone who frequently goes into Boston, not a luxury. The short version is there was a violent altercation that led to multiple hospitalizations. This happened in a transit station I've gone to before and will likely return to in the future. If I have to flee such a situation, I'm more likely to forget to check my pockets because adrenaline shuts down the rational part of the brain these pocket checks come from. Once potential danger is behind me, I'll need to track my phone down if I dropped it, or call someone for a ride home if my search fails, especially if my phone's broken. I may also have to call the lost and found of the MBTA, which I've saved all the necessary numbers to my watch for as a precaution. Speaking of broken phones, I also had an experience with that 4 years ago, which proves my third and final point about how phone damage could make a cellular smartwatch a lifesaver. I was at the movie theater I used to work at, talking to one of my former coworkers, and I waved my arms around to exaggerate something. My phone was in my hand, and I dropped it to the floor. The display literally stopped working when I picked it up. Miraculously, I was still able to use a voice command to call for a ride home, then moved my SIM card to an older phone until I got it fixed. However, if my phone had been bricked that night, I'd have been in real trouble. I take smarter precautions now, but accidents happen. Again, my watch is attached to me, so this is far less likely to happen. I didn't make this upgrade out of paranoia or for the dopamine hit the novelty would bring. Okay, it did feel good setting it up and doing the test calls as far from my phone as possible, because I knew it would improve my life long term. I made the upgrade based on knowing the odds of losing my phone by accident, A dangerous situation causing me to forget about my phone, or damage of some kind breaking it will always be somewhere above zero. Using what I've observed and experienced over the last 6 months, I decided it's better to have a cellular Apple Watch and not need it to replace my phone than have a GPS only one when I need a cellular one to replace my phone. It may not be easily noticeable if I don't actively leave the house without my phone, which I might do now because I can. However, it's the most important upgrade I made this week because I have a backup way to stay connected if my phone's not available. Rather than upgrade for the sake of it, I identified potential problems this upgrade would resolve and made it when I had the money to do so. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it and agree a cellular smartwatch is a good idea, as well as something better to have but not need than need but not have. Comment your thoughts on this, especially upgrades you've made that were genuinely beneficial. Or if you want to call me paranoid because I realize accidents happen. Remember, I read every single comment, even the hidden ones. Finally, subscribe for cultural commentary and rants from a man caught between generations, which I kind of want to put into an audio form on the Apple Podcasts platform now. So you have the option to listen to this from a cellular Apple Watch when you don't have a phone on you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.